One of the number one causes of relapse is an alcohol craving. We see a friend having a drink, we see an advertisement, we're bored, we get the thought of having a drink, then all of a sudden we develop a craving. And for so many people, that's the end of it. They get the craving, they pour themselves a drink, and it's all over. Well, today, guys, after 4 years of not drinking and working with hundreds of people in a stop drinking program, I'm going to be sharing 5 ways for you to defeat an alcohol craving forever. Now, I need to be clear about one thing. If you follow through with the 5th thing in this video, I cannot be held responsible for your actions. I cannot stop you from doing it. So please make sure to watch all 5, and the 5th one is the most important. You need to get your head around that, because if you don't, I don't know what can help you. So the first way that you can defeat an alcohol craving all boils down to your worldview. This is the foundation of everything. If you're on a journey right now and you're trying to reduce or stop drinking entirely, your worldview is the most critical thing for you to solidify. I'm telling you that if you start your journey of becoming a non-drinker just using nothing but pure willpower, and you still have this idea that alcohol somehow adds value in your life, I'm telling you, it's just going to be impossible. There will be a day that you'll probably end up just saying enough is enough, and you fall victim to an alcohol craving. But if you can start your journey understanding alcohol as a poison, as ethanol, as something that does nothing for you whatsoever, and you have a very, very, very firm understanding of alcohol, it's all going to make your journey so much easier. Now, because my worldview on alcohol and the way I see alcohol is so damn strong enough for me to make 400 YouTube videos talking about this stuff and literally make a career out of it, I don't get alcohol cravings. Ever. Zero. Because the foundation of me not drinking alcohol is built on logic, is built on a worldview, is built on a deep understanding of alcohol and how it does nothing for me or anybody. So that is the first way to defeat an alcohol craving, is to understand that alcohol does nothing for you. Which leads me to the second way to defeat an alcohol craving, is to recognize when you are vulnerable. Now, for some individuals, they will be most vulnerable when they're around other people that drink alcohol. In my experience, during the 10 years of trying to find a solution to my drinking problem, that was when I was weakest. It was when I was around somebody that I liked. Maybe it was somebody that I admired, somebody that was charismatic. That's when I would be weakest. Because I'd start to see somebody that drank alcohol and had a great life for themselves and great characteristics. And when they told me, Leon, let's just have 1 or 2 drinks and then stop there, I'd sometimes buy into it. I got influenced by other drinkers. That was my weakness. For some people out there, it's when they're alone. That's when they start thinking about drinking, escaping the boredom, being alone, feeling lonely. That's what leads them to drink. Now, for me, that was never an issue. So you really got to understand when you are vulnerable so you can create plans, so you can create strategies. So you know that if you're going to be alone for the next 5 days because your wife's going on holiday or something like that, you have people coming over. You, I don't know, set up dinner dates with your friends or go and see family. If for you, it's when you're around other people, it's to, again, go back to the first point, is to solidify the worldview, is to see not only alcohol for what it is, but other drinkers for what they are. Because these days, I never get the feeling of wanting to drink when I'm around other people. It's very different these days. Now, if you actually want to work with me directly and use something called first principles thinking, which is a method that I've developed that works around reframing how you view alcohol, and then we use coaching to really focus on the future and build a great life without alcohol, click the link in the description. You can actually just watch a short video, and then if you like what you hear, you'll be able to book a phone call, and you and I can see if working together could be a good match. So if you want more details on that, please do click the link in the description. And now let's get into the third thing. So the third way to defeat an alcohol craving is to play it out. Now, I know this is quite a common technique, but what you've got to do is really think that if you were to have a drink, what would happen? What would happen that day? Well, maybe that day, it'd be fine. You know, maybe you'd have a few drinks and nothing bad would happen. Maybe you just wake up a bit hungover and that's it. But if you get real with yourself, if you start that chain reaction of drinking alcohol, what's going to happen a week from now? Maybe a week from now you're fine. Maybe a month from now you're fine. But alcohol is a slippery decline. You start off here, a month later, you might be here. 2 months later, you might be here. 2 years later, you might be here. And play it out in your mind. Ask yourself, if you have that drink, if you succumb to that craving, what is going to happen? And just really visualize yourself. And if you end up using this technique of playing it out, you need to be really real with yourself. You can't just say that, yeah, I could have a drink and get back on track the next day. I know that if I was to drink alcohol, if I was to play it out, everything in my life would collapse. And it wouldn't collapse overnight. It might take 3 years. It might take 4 years. But slowly but surely, everything that I have built while I've not been drinking alcohol would get dismantled. I would have no business. I would probably end up breaking up with my girlfriend. I'd probably end up upsetting my family in a massive way. I'd probably eventually even end up running out of money. I know that if I was to drink alcohol and if I play that out, it's going to be a disaster. But maybe not immediately. But if I really ask myself what would happen 6 months from now, 2 years from now, it's game over. So try that. try playing it out. Now, the fourth thing that you can do is catch it at the thought. What I mean by this is, as soon as you get a thought about drinking alcohol, because you will think about alcohol, that will happen, is to recognize the thought, bring awareness to it, and instead of creating a feeling of missing out of, I wish I was drinking right now, create a feeling of, well, hang on, I don't drink anymore. Like, that's already a thing in the past. And I know that sounds a little bit easy to do, but if you've solidified your worldview, if you've done number one in the equation, then you are able to catch thoughts before they become cravings, because that's how it works. We don't just develop a craving out of nowhere. It starts with a thought. It starts with an idea that alcohol is going to add value in our life again, which slowly develops into a craving. I've had cravings that actually started days before during previous attempts that I tried to stop drinking. I might get this idea that alcohol is a good thing a week before, and then over the next couple of days, I'd just start looking for evidence that, yeah, alcohol is a good thing. And then what do you think happens? Of course that develops into a craving, but I never caught it at the thought. But these days, whenever I think about alcohol, because I do still think about alcohol, I'm able to just catch it at the thought, recognize that I don't do that anymore, and it's literally not part of my life. And instead of feeling like I'm missing out, I feel a feeling of relief. And the fifth and final way for you to defeat an alcohol craving is to drink. Listen, that is an option, because you do only have two options. You either do the other four things that I told you to do in this video, or you don't, and you drink. And I can't stop you. Nobody can stop you. Your family can't stop you. Your children can't stop you. Your friends can't stop you. Only you can stop yourself. And if you want to get rid of the alcohol craving, maybe drinking is an option. But just ask yourself this. If you decide to drink, what is that going to cost you? Because it will cost you everything. If you decide to listen to an alcohol craving and you pour that drink, play it out. Where are you 5 years from now? Where are you 10 years from now? Are you even alive 10 years from now? What do your kids think about you? What does your wife, what does your husband think about you? What do your friends think about you? Have you achieved your dreams? Have you achieved your goals? No, of course not. Because let's get real. If you have an alcohol craving and you pour that drink, it's a disaster waiting to happen. And I pray that you don't do that. I pray that you use the other four things that I've told you in this video and you keep on this path, because you won't regret it. My life didn't take off until I got rid of alcohol. Only good things happen these days. You know, I've moved to Dubai. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in an amazing relationship with a wonderful woman, all because I don't succumb to cravings. If you click the video on the screen now, you can learn how John, one of the members of the Sober Clear program, also stopped drinking alcohol without cravings.